So we're just going to spend a couple of moments setting the intention for the practice today. I kind of look at this as being kind of special, a special way of viewing your practice. It might be new to you. It might not be new to you. But it is probably one of the best parts of yoga that what's really carried me this far in looking at my practice in a way that when you look at the things that come up for us on our mat, those are the things that are coming up for us in our life. So this is a deeper way of looking at your practice. You know, what makes yoga so unique and different than other types of exercise, if you will, because yoga is so much more than just exercising your body, right? We know that at least. But it's this idea and this opportunity of bringing your focus more internal. So yes, you're stretching your muscles. Yes, you're getting more flexible and working on your balance and you're getting stronger. But it's so much more than that. And I think about this time in your practices, some of us are fairly new, and a lot of us are very, we're old hats here with yoga. We've been doing yoga a long time. But this is, I think, really important. And when you set an intention for your practice, it deepens your experience. So if you look at let's just say, for example, you fall out of a pose, how do you respond to that? How do you respond to that falling? Do you jump right into criticism and judging yourself and getting angry or frustrated? And if that's the case, then look at maybe some other areas in your life that you might be getting frustrated with when you fall out of balance. And these are just such a great way, to look at your practice as a training ground, really, to look at what's missing in your life, what kind of qualities are missing. Maybe you need to be more assertive. Maybe you need to be less critical. Because if you're criticizing yourself harshly, then you're also doing that to others. And if you're criticizing others harshly, that just shows that you're also very, very hard on yourself. And I know in my practice, in my Ayurveda practice, when I work with people who are extremely critical and judgmental, I have the most compassion for those people because they are 10 times more critical on themselves when I see that they're judging others harshly. So I try to have a little more compassion for those people. So this is just something to think about as you set foot on your mat today. Does that sound good? Does it make sense? And maybe you have never looked at your practice like this. I don't know. I know some of you have. Some of you are teachers, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So these are just opportunities for us to go a little deeper and to create these qualities that we want more of in our life. So having said that, we're going to start nice and gently. You know there's going to be balancing today, right? So we will kind of try to hit everything. But let's start with our block. And then I just want you to lie down and take your block into a supported bridge. So nice and easy, nice and gentle. And just allow this opportunity here to arrive and to observe. Observe what is present with you right now, good or bad. No judgment at all. No judgment. Just what is it? Do you have a heaviness in the body? Do you feel sluggish? Do you have a fogginess in your brain? Or do you feel clear, bright, and energized? Let's just take the time here to close down your eyes. And then just deepening your breath.
Just taking a few moments to notice the qualities of your breath. Is it erratic, constricted, short? Or are you able to take deep, full breaths? And again, no judgment, just noticing what's here. What needs a little light? So all of this intentional way of practicing, using this as a training ground, it's all really sets you up for how you approach all situations and people in your life. And then therefore, we start to become more compassionate towards ourselves and therefore others. There's no such thing as being compassionate towards others but not yourself. That's not true compassion. So this is where it all starts. Then from here, keeping your hips on your block, and you can always lower it if you want to, take it down a notch. But don't go higher than the second level, okay? Keep it on the first or second level. And then take your legs up towards the ceiling and keeping your feet together. So kind of glue your legs together as if you have one leg. And then just imagine that you're drawing a circle with your legs on the ceiling, just a small little circle. And that's going to feel really nice in your low back, especially if your low back's been a little cranky. Mine has. So this is feeling really good to me. Probably too much Netflix. I don't know. There's nothing else to do in the summertime, right? It's just so hot. We just gotta watch shows. I admit it. I'm a binge watcher. It does not serve my body well, that's for sure. And then if you want, you can start to make your circles a little bit bigger. And then noticing where you feel a little sensitivity and maybe just hanging out there. Bringing your legs a little more to the right and let your feet and your legs go forward and back. Massaging those tight tissue there on your low back and hips. And then go to the other side, maybe to the left, and massage. Should feel good. And then let's bring our feet back to the center and just circle the ankles. Nice big and intentional circles. And then reverse those circles, go the other way. Maybe you get your ankles to make some noise, that's good. All right, and then let's take the feet down to the mat. And then from here, just draw your right knee into your chest. Squeeze down into the right hip. So keeping your hips on a block and just try to experience this kind of a new way. Maybe this is the first time you've ever done it this way. And how do you feel about that? How do you feel about bringing something new in? Does it excite you? Does it, bring in some inquisitive? Or do you get annoyed by it or a fear about it? So again, these are just things you notice about yourself. If it feels comfortable for you, extend your left leg all the way down onto the mat and pull a little bit stronger into the right hip. Charge up the left leg. You're going to feel this big stretch in the front of the hip on the left side. It's really good. If it doesn't feel good, then just bend up the left knee. Not a big deal. And then we'll switch sides. Take the right leg down, extend it long, and then draw the left knee in. There's probably a big difference in what you feel from right to left, so just take note of it. And then I think being open, just be open to receive. Good, and then let's extend both legs out long, if it feels okay for your back. If not, just keep your feet bent, your knees bent, your feet on the floor. And we'll just take this supported back bend just for a few more breaths. And you can open the arms out into cactus, or whatever's comfortable for you. And taking one more breath here. And then we'll take the feet to the floor, lift the hips up away from your block, slide your block out, and then just lower yourself down, hug both knees into your chest. And then we'll massage the low back, just moving side to side. Massaging, circling. And then we're just going to take a gentle twist here. So let the knees just drop to the right and reach the left arm out, keeping your left shoulder down if possible. And just kind of wringing out the spine first thing here in the morning, at least for some of us. And then let's bring the knees up and over to the other side. So one of the beauties about online yoga, right, is that we get to bring in people from all over. I love that we can do that. So regardless of what time of day it is, twisting is just a nice way to release stress in the spine and also in the mind. Just take one more breath here. And then let's come back up through center, and now draw the right knee in and take your left leg down onto the mat, and just notice the difference that feels without the block. Squeeze down into your right hip and then just circle the right ankle. That's it, just the ankle. Moving one direction 4 or 5 times and then circle the other way. One more big circle, and then relax the ankle and move into the right hip. So you could do this really big and dynamic circle, or start small and just see where you're at today. What does it feel like? It could be sensitive, so just take it real easy with yourself and ease in nice and slow. And then circle the other way. It's a nice massage for your right hip. squeeze straight down into the hip. Hold here. This is a very active posture. Draw your chin in slightly. Drop your shoulders back and down. And feel as if you're standing on that left leg. So flex the foot. Engage the muscles in that left leg. Squeeze into the right hip. One more breath. And then let's take our strap. Hopefully you have your strap close by. And loop it around the instep of your right foot. If you're not using a strap, you could just hold on to your big toe with your 2 fingers, depending on your flexibility. And then let's just take this very gentle movement where you move the leg forward and back. So very subtle, just moving gently forward and back. This is a nice way to coax those tight muscles in the back of the leg to let go, to open up. And then find a nice place where you're not too strong in the stretch, where it's causing you to make a funny face, but you're also not just hanging out. So make it manageable and hold it still for 3 full breaths. Good, and then let's take that strap or that foot and bring it all the way out to the right. Anchor yourself in your left side by flexing your left foot. And then again, just finding a place that's manageable, holding it and breathing deep and full. And then on your next in-breath, bring your leg back up to the center and then take your strap into the left hand and move the right arm out, keeping your right shoulder down. Take your time as you cross the body. This can be kind of intense, very sore, maybe really tight. So go slow. And then try to move your right hip away from your right shoulder and your right shoulder away from the right hip. So you get a little more space on that right side. Take one more round of breath, maybe exhaling through the mouth to help you to let go, to soften. And then we'll come back up on the inhale, release the strap, and then just squeeze that right knee back into your chest just for a moment. And then take the right leg all the way up towards the ceiling and glue the small of your back down to the mat. Keep that as you slowly lower the right leg with control, with awareness. And then once it lands, relax completely. And then just take note of the big difference you feel from the right side to the left. All right, let's take that on the other side. Bend up the left knee, interlace the fingers below your left knee. Squeeze down into that left hip and then start to circle the left ankle. You're going several times one direction, and then when it feels right for you, reverse it. That's going to be different for everybody. Good, and then relax relax the ankle and move into the left hip. How does this side feel today? And then make sure you go the other direction when it feels right. And then squeeze down into that hip. Create a nice little pinching sensation there. Flex your right foot, squeeze down, relax your shoulders. And then we'll take the strap to the left foot. Extend the leg up and then just start that little gentle movement forward and back. Forward and back. And then find a manageable stretch. It might be lower than the other leg, or maybe you can have a little more range of motion on this side. So just meet your body where it is, from the right to the left. We'll take one more breath here. Very nice, and then we'll take a hold of the strap in the left hand or under your big toe and take your left leg to the left, right arm to the right. And remember that right leg, it's like it's holding you up if you were standing on it. Last 2 breaths, and keep your breath really steady, really full, with a nice steady cadence. And then on your next inhale, we'll come back up to the center, and then we'll set up for the twist. And again, take your time. You might be feeling a lot of crankiness in your outer hip or low back, so go slow. And once you're in a place that, just feels just right, start to move your hip and your shoulder away from the center. So everything moves away from the heart. And see how that feels. Should feel good. Let's take one more nice big breath here. And then gently coming back up. And release the strap. Squeeze that knee back into your chest. Squeeze into the hip. And then release that leg up towards the ceiling, and with nice control, glue the back to the mat, lower the legs slowly. All the way down to the floor. Good, and then just relax there. Take nice deep full breaths. Relax your shoulders, your neck, your jaw. Do you feel the energy in your legs now? they're nice and vibrant, lots of blood flow. Let's take the soles of the feet down to the mat, and then bring the soles of the feet together. Allow your knees to go out wide. We're taking advantage of some gravity here, getting into the inner thighs. So just take a few moments to breathe and relax. So maybe one of the qualities that you struggle with, and I'm speaking from experience because this would be me, is patience, right? Allowing the time and the space for your body to respond, and really giving you this opportunity to slow down. We're so much in a rush. So you might be feeling this anxiousness to get going, to get moving. Or maybe you have the opposite. Maybe you want to just lie here for the rest of the class. So then your work would be to bring in more fire, more tejas. All right, then let's draw the knees together nice and carefully. And then hug both knees in. Let's do some frog circles. Circle the knees out and around and back together. And then reversing it, go the other way. Good. Now bring your knees all the way together and lift your head up towards your knees. Wrap your arms around the front of your legs. Try to get your elbows. If you can't get the elbows, settle for your forearms or your wrist, whatever you can get, and squeeze down into your belly. So create a nice tight little ball here. Keep that compression on your belly and drop your head back. And then now try to drop your tail down. So try to get a little bit more length in the low back. Squeeze, squeeze. Good, and then release the legs up towards the ceiling. And now flex your feet. Glue the small of your back down, relax your shoulders. And now start to lower the legs, slow as you can go. And then as soon as your low back loses connection, point your toes and then lift your legs back up. So that range will be different for everyone. Flex your feet, exhale your breath as you lower the legs. Maybe you hover an inch off the floor, maybe you only go down an inch. It just depends on where you are. Inhaling as you lift the legs, exhaling as you lower. So just again, you're not forcing yourself or pushing yourself beyond your capacity right now. Be gentle. But you're still working, right? But you're only working to your own capacity. So as soon as your low back lifts, it's over, right? Go keep the back flat. Be honest about where you are. And we're going to do this about 20 more seconds. And if this is something you really don't want to do, that means you really need to do it. That's 3, 2, and 1. Good. Take the feet down towards the floor, and we'll come into a bridge. Peel the hips up, walk your shoulders a little closer together, stretch it all out. It really feels good to wake up that core strength. It's almost like it sets you up for a day where you feel stronger. You feel stronger and more grounded. Okay, then let's lower nice and easy, one vertebra at a time. And then we're going to bring the right knee in and take your left leg down and hover it just a couple of inches off the floor, please. Your right knee will come in, but don't use your hands. Let your arms relax alongside your body. And then you're just gonna switch your legs. Right leg long and left knee comes in. Hover that right foot off the floor a couple of inches. And then switch sides again. So try to keep your low back flat and keep cycling your legs. So that low back flat is what's gonna create the stability. You don't wanna be all wonky. Okay, so just switching and coming back. This is so good for so many things, not just core, but you're also creating a pumping mechanism for the lymphatic system. We got this lymph nodes that live right here in the hip area that you're compressing and pumping the fluid. It's also good for digestion. So keep it going, you guys, and do your best. If you need to rest, then rest. But come back. This work is so good, so good. Feel the fire in your belly. We just have about 20 more seconds. That's it. Stay with it. And is your shoulders taken over? I know mine just did, so you have to keep reminding those shoulders to stay out of it. They're not invited to this party. Last 3, 2, and then 1. Hug your knees into your chest. Woo! All right, let's roll onto the side and come up all the way, and then just make your way onto your belly. So just roll over. And come into Sphinx pose. This will feel good after that, stretching out your belly. That's my favorite. I love doing core work and then following it up with a back bend. It just feels really good. And this is such a gentle, therapeutic back bend. So good for everybody. There are a couple little things to think about though here. So bring your elbows a little further away from you, out in front. Spread your fingers. And think of it as someone is pulling your legs, stretching your legs back. At the same time, you have a rope on your chest that's pulling your chest forward. So create that energy. That's going to really create a different sensation. Good. Your ribs might lift up a little bit. Chest reaches forward. One more breath. And then good, let's lower all the way down. And then we have Shalabhasana, so bring your arms all the way back alongside your body. And then bring your forehead down, so your neck is long. So think of it as lifting from your chest area. Lift everything up, arms, your chest, your legs, maybe your thighs lift up. And this is a full in-breath. And then exhale as you lower, nice and slow. Good, and keep that going. Inhale as you lift up. Just go to your own degree. And exhale as you lower. Keep going. This is creating balance. When it comes to core strengthening, we have to think about that as the back as well, not just the front. We got to strengthen our back, front and side bodies. We'll do one more round, and this time go up as high as you can go and hold it for 3 breaths. So make it manageable. Lift up the chest. You can lift your eyes, lift your head, lift your chest. Go into a back bend. Lift up and go up to your own degree, and then release. Good. Now slide your hands under the shoulders. Push back into child's pose. We're waking up now, aren't we? Child pose will feel good, so just recalibrate your breath here. So what's coming up for you in your practice? Do you resist the harder stuff? Do you expect yourself to be perfect? You know, this idea of perfectionism is really more, reason for us to suffer. It's just causing more suffering. So just have fun with your practice.
inhale, come up into tabletop, hands and knees. Bring the knees underneath the hips, and then we're gonna flip the wrists. So turn the hands all the way around. And these little circles around the palms of your hands. Feels really good to me. It might not to you. So maybe you just wanna hold it still. Good. Are you breathing or are you thinking? Good. And then let's turn the hands around and we're going to go into Anahata Asana. So bring the hands way forward towards the corners of your mat. So your arms are a little wider. And then my hips are going to stay right in line with my thighs, my knees. You're really targeting that thoracic area, that middle spine. Let the chest and armpits drop down. You can soften the elbows, or you can lift up the elbows, press into the fingertips to make it more dynamic. Very good. Let's make our way up into cat pose now, which is a nice counter pose for that. Push into the ground and round your spine. Let your head just drop down, moving those shoulder blades apart. And then we have 1 full minute of cat-cow. So as you inhale, aim to keep inhaling even though you're at the maximum stretch. And then keep exhaling into cat pose even though you can't round anymore. So that's the practice, is dragging the breath longer than the movement. 1 minute. I'm going to keep track of the time so you can drop into this meditative flow. Just moving through each and every vertebra. You could even bring in a visualization of your breath is just bathing up and down the spine, moving in and out of every vertebra. It's a really nice visual. You're 30 seconds in. Last round here, very nice, you guys. And then let's bring the knees together, curl your toes under, and then just go back into toe crunch. So that could be that you just keep your hands supporting you forward, or you can sit right on top of the heels. It just depends on how your feet are feeling today. I like to get my toes, my little toes involved too. You gotta kind of help them out. And then wherever you land, just relax, relax. Breathe into those toes. Relax the shoulders. And then we will release out of that. Tap your toes out. Should feel pretty good. Good. And then let's take the right leg straight back. Toes facing down. Lift the leg in line with your spine.
Bend your knee out to the side like a dog on a fire hydrant. And then bring your leg back in, straight back, bend it out to the side, in towards the body, and then repeat that several times. So it's kind of a figure 8, or you're just circling in that hip. And it's not about being perfect, so you don't have to get this just perfect. You're gonna let go of that perfectionism, I'll tell you. It's just a prerequisite for pain and suffering. So just do your best and let go of the rest. One more big circle. And then take the legs straight back, lift the chest, and knee to the nose. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale back, and then exhale, bring it in. Keep that going. This is a little more core work. And one more round. And then we're going to step that right foot all the way up in between your hands. And you can bring your block into it here if you want to, or blocks, which is kind of nice. So you get a nice long spine. Lift up across the chest. Okay, so bring your blocks so that they're more underneath your shoulders, like this, and you're lifting up a little bit more. So you're really getting into this front hip flexor. Yeah, once you find it, just let yourself settle in, breathe into it. And then this is important, okay? You don't want to just hang in the joint. You want to create some integrity. So energetically squeeze your front heel towards your back knee and your back knee towards the front heel. So you feel like you're scissoring in a little bit. And then hold there and try to be still. Okay, very nice. And then we're going to shorten this lunge. So I'm going to bring a blanket, and you could do the same underneath your back knee, because my knee is a little sensitive, so this is a nice way to create a little cushion. Shorten up your stride so you look like this instead of like this. Okay, so bring everything in a little bit. And then bring your hands out like this, like you're holding a tray. Yeah, tuck those elbows in, bring your shoulders back. And then just take a few of these. Open the arms out to the side. Keep those elbows glued to your ribs, and then bring your palms back forward again. So inhaling as you open, exhale as you bring the hands back out, and keep going, out and in. You're holding a tray, and then you open up the arms. It's amazing what you feel here in those shoulders. The last one. And then bring those arms straight up into cactus. Open up the elbows wide. And then just hook that left elbow on the outside of the right knee and bring the palms together. Thumbs towards your sternum and twist your chest. Okay, so the low back doesn't twist. It's not designed to twist. The mid-spine, that's what we're targeting. So keep integrity in the low back and twist from the spine, mid-spine. Use the elbow on the thigh to push. And then good. Release the hands to frame your foot, and then just come back into half split pose. And of course you could bring the block in if you want to here. And then let's work with the sciatic nerve here. Let's just rotate to the inner and the outer heel. You definitely might feel a little zinger go up the side of that leg. I know I do. And then let's point and flex the foot. Point and flex. Working through the ankle, the toes. Okay, good. We're going to do our first kind of balancing pose. Let the hips come forward into low lunge. And then we have this kind of a variation of modified Vashisthasana, side plank. Take your left hand flat and then just slide the right leg back and lift it up in line with your hip and spine. And bring the right arm up. So really firm this right leg. Kick into an imaginary wall or something solid. And if you fall, it's okay. Kind of be like a child. When a child falls, they do it playfully. They're having fun. They don't beat themselves up. So first chance at exploring your balance today. If you want to, you can bend the knee, grab the toes, and pull the heel toward your glutes for a thigh stretch. That may or may not work for you today. Then you can kick into a half bow if you'd like. Nice, and then we'll release everything back into tabletop, hands and knees. It's nice to have that blanket there, right? Let's circle out the hips, one direction. Let me go the other direction. Good, and then back to tabletop. Make sure the ribs are tucked in and up. And then take your left leg back, toes facing down. Open up the hip. Bend your knee. And then we're just gonna do those circles again. So opening up, bring the leg in towards the midline, straight back, out, and in. Back, out, and in. Find a movement that feels right for you. And the kind of a tricky thing and fun to practice is to create more core work by not letting yourself dump into that right side. Keep your arms equally weight distributed. And then bring the leg back, lift the chest, inhale, exhale, knee to the nose. Keep that going in and out. Last two. And then let's step it all the way up into a low lunge with your blocks. And then again, bring those blocks back so that you can lift up taller. Scissor your legs in, relax your shoulders. One more big breath. Your focus is your breath right now. And then we're gonna shorten up this stride. So just slide your foot in a little bit, standing on that knee. And you want the thigh bone to be right underneath your hip. Okay? Elbows in, you got the tray pose, palms out. And then inhale, open up. Keep the elbows tucked into your ribs. And then exhale, hands back. Yeah, inhale, open. I'm wondering how this is for you, Nancy. You'll have to give me some feedback later, thinking about your shoulder. Okay, opening up and bring it in. So your anchor is the elbows in. Shallow wants to play. Okay, and then let's bring the arms up to cactus, open the elbows wide. And then let's hook that right elbow on the outside of the left knee, hands to the heart, and twist. We're aiming for getting the thumbs in line with the sternum one day. So that's just kind of your goal. It may or may not happen today. Keep your spine nice and long, push into that knee, twisting. Very nice. And then we have Ardha Hanuman, half split. Pull your toes back. And then start to move inner and outer heel.
toes back and point and flex. Point and flex. Stay with the breath. Let the thoughts come and go. Don't focus on them. Stay present. And then all the way back through, low lunge. Plant your right hand down firmly underneath your right shoulder. And then slide the left leg back, left arm up into this balancing pose. Good. So the more you bring your ribs in, tuck your tail, the more stable you'll be. You could stay here. It's great. Or grab the toe, grab the foot, and pull the heel in towards your glutes. Stretch your thigh. And then maybe kick into the hand to go into a half bow pose. Totally up to you. Good, and then very gently, we will release, hands and knees down, and circle it out. And then go the other way. Oh, I love these circles. Good, all right, let's lower all the way back down onto your belly. And then slide the hands this time underneath your shoulders. We're setting up for a Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. If you want, you can move the blanket underneath your hips or just leave it where it is. Okay, stretch your legs back and then inhale, peel the chest up, but don't make this a push-up. Actually float the hands up so that they're lifted off the mat. Use your back strength, your leg strength, and hold here. Maybe lift one more vertebra up. And then lower down. Good. Stretch the right arm out to the side. Walk it out and stack your hips. Stack your shoulders. There's like 3 variations you could do with your legs. You could keep them just stacked where they are. Or take the top foot on the floor behind you, knee pointing up. And number 3 would be to grab the ankle, the toes, and kick to go into this kind of a half bow pose. So choose your position wisely. Nice, and then we'll release to the other side. And always remember to go slowly. Move into the posture with awareness. And make sure the shoulder is crawling down your back. And your left hand is firm to the floor. Very nice. And lower down to your belly. We're just going to stack our hands underneath our forehead here. Take a prone Shavasana. Just rest and relax. Notice the work you've done so far and how you're feeling. We are nicely set up for a down dog now, so let's bring our hands underneath the shoulders, come back, curl the toes under, and lift your hips sky high. You can press into your heels, alternating. And find stillness in your dog pose for just about 3 breaths. Just
Relax your eyes, your face, your thoughts. And then let's very slowly and gently walk back towards your feet for a forward fold. So please soften those knees if you need to. Reach for opposite elbows and just allow yourself to dangle, to sway. Very nice. Hands on the hips. Press down through the feet and slowly rise with a nice flat back. Whew, here we are. Good morning. We're standing. All right, bring your feet underneath your knees so you have a nice solid Tadasana. Open up the palms, roll the shoulders back and down. And then we're just going to take this right arm and we're going to cross it over the body and look up towards the hand as you follow it all the way out to the right and then right alongside your body. And then we'll take the left side, cross the body. Follow the palm of your hand, open out to the left and all the way down. Good. And then again, right side on the inhale. And then left side. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And let's do one more. Right side, inhale. Stretch up and out. And then left side. Good. And then now both arms reach out and up. Inhale. Stretch up. Grab a hold of your right wrist and bend your elbows. Bend your elbows. Pull the arm bones back. Draw the ribs in. Then stretch up and over. And just see what that feels like. Good. And then coming up, grab a hold of the left. Same thing. Bend your elbows. Bring your arm bones back. Chin is slightly lifted. Stretch up through the ribs and over to the right. Breathe. And then coming back up. Good. Take the arms all the way down and behind you. Interlace the hands. Open up the chest, the shoulders. Okay, and then bend your knees. Put your ribs, your belly on your thighs. Come into this kind of a half chair pose with your arms back. And then lift the hips. Let your head drop down and bring the arms up and over your head to your own degree. Nothing forceful. And then let's take this into chair pose. So release the arms, sweep them forward and up. And then just settle into that chair. Use your good strong legs. Push the knees out energetically, like you have a strap binding them. Sit down a little deeper, lift your chest a little more, one more breath. And then let's rise all the way up onto the toes. Roll up onto the toes, lift your heels, hold here for 3 breaths. Even if you fall, just laugh at yourself, come back. Be more childlike. And then nice and slow as you lower the heels. And let the arms come down and into the heart space, hands to the heart. Just take a nice centering breath. And then let's open wide. I'm going to move my blanket off to the side. Let's take a wide stride here. Bring the arms out. And then turn your right toes to face towards the short edge of your mat. So from here, with your nice, strong, solid legs, just take it back into reverse Trikonasana. So keep your legs nice and strong and straight. If you want, you could take the hand to the back of your head, point the elbow up, and lean the head back into the hand. It's just an added stretch.
And then let's release all the way back up into triangle pose. So reach out over that leg, hand down, and top arm up. And just being aware of what comes up for you. Criticism, judgment, impatience, agitation. Just notice it. Good. Warrior two. Bend your knee. Come into warrior two. And then grab your block. We'll put it to the outside of that right foot, to the right corner of your mat. Or the left corner of your mat, probably. Reach the arms out. So the pinky side of your foot. And then we're going to take that hand to the block. Right hand to the waist. Sorry, left hand to your waist. Oh my gosh, I'm mirroring you. So just look at me. And then we're going to slide this block forward, shorten your stride. One thing, make sure your right toes stay put. They stay facing forward. Then just lift your back leg. Maybe you lower it back down. Explore your balance. Lift the leg and lower it. And then maybe you can lift it and catch a nice balance, half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. Flex your left foot strongly. And then maybe you reach that left arm up. Maybe you look up towards the thumb, or you stay looking straight ahead, or even down. And if you fall, big deal, right? Just come back. Have fun. And then back to warrior two. Woo! How was that? Reverse warrior, reach back. And then we'll come back up, straight legs. We're going to take that block now over to the other side. Place it so that you have it there when we're ready. Left toes face out towards the short edge of your mat, and straighten up the legs and the arms. Okay, nice firm legs. Reach back into reverse Trikonasana. Maybe the hand comes to the back of your head, point the elbow up, or not. Oh, it feels so good. And then let's come back through Trikonasana, reach out, and then take the hand down wherever it goes. This is where it should be. And breathe, steady breath. And then you can place that right hand on your waist, bend into your knee, and then just slide your left hand to your block. Shorten your stride, and then start to lift and lower. Lift and lower until you find the balance. Have fun with it. Be playful. Just like a child. No big deal. Wow. One more breath there to practice. And then we'll come into warrior two. Bend your knee, come into warrior two. Settle down, and then reach back, reverse warrior. Good. And then coming up, straighten the legs, turn your feet in. And then come all the way down. You can always bend your knees to come down to a center stretch. And lift your hips and straighten your legs when you're ready. But remember, we're not compromising the length of your spine. So keep your spine long. Bend your knees as needed. Let your head go. Let it go. Relax it. So how was that balance for you? No big deal if you fall. practicing. Relax the head, shake it out gently, yes and no. Just really let go of the tension in your neck and your shoulders. Okay, then from there, we're going to heel ball your feet in. Heel ball, all the way until they're about hip distance apart. And then place your hands on your hips and come up with a nice flat back and long spine. Good. Take a moment to just recalibrate. Hands to the heart. The little smile on your face, you're doing such good work. And then a little more balancing. Let's shift the weight to the right leg. Turn your left knee out to the side and just pop up onto your toes. So make this commitment right now that you're not going to use this activity as another avenue to judge and to be perfectionist about your practice. Just let all that crap go. Your body's different every day. Honor your body in all the seasons. And if you have your balance, you can take your foot on the inside of the calf, and that's a nice, safe place to play. You can always put it right back down when you feel like you're losing your balance. If you have your balance today, bring your foot all the way up into the inner thigh, not on your knee, all the way up or below the knee, hands to the heart. And then do something different today with your arms. Maybe you bring your arms back behind you and reach for opposite elbows, forearms, or wrists. Some of you might be able to go into a reverse namaste with your palms together. My shoulders will not allow that very well, but I try. Yeah, and if you fall, come back. Just keep coming back. It's so important to practice balance, especially as we age. It's one of the first things to go, so we have to hold on to it, we have to practice it every day or every time we practice. We still have 10 more seconds or so, so if you fall and come back and end on a good note. 3, 2, and then 1. Good. Gently place the foot down. Give your opposite leg a little shake out. Shake it out. Shake it out. And then we'll go to the other side. So when you're ready. Right? This side's so different than the other side. So clean slate, y'all. Clean slate. Go to your level, wherever you want to practice. And then maybe you switch up the arms. The grip goes now on top of the other one. Switch the arms. You're working your focus and concentration here. So just stay with it. You've gone past the point of being challenged where you can stand here all day, then try closing your eyes. Keep coming back, keep practicing. You still have 20 more seconds left. A lot of timbers, huh? Timber. All right, 3, 2, and end on a good note. Good. Hands to the heart, let that go. So inhale through the nose, and then let a nice exhale through the mouth. Awesome. Let's go into a goddess legs here. So turn your toes out about 45 degrees.
And then just come down and push the knees out. So you're giving yourself a nice little inner thigh stretch. Cat-cow here. So send the hips back, lift the chest, look up. And then as you exhale, pull the ribs, belly in, chin to the chest. Stay with that a couple times, just releasing any tension in your spine. The last one, and then we'll roll all the way up, stack each vertebra. And then turn your left toes to face forward, step up to the top of your mat. Hands to the heart. Take a nice little vinyasa, okay? Inhale, stretch the arms out and up. Maybe take a back bend if you like. And then exhale, bend your knees, folding down. Inhale, halfway, reach the chest forward. And then exhale, let's pause in plank pose, upper push-up position. A little more core strengthening, but also bone density work here. So good to hold your own weight. Good. And then from here, let's drop down to the forearms. Interlace the hands. Make like a triangle with your arms. Press down into the base. And then tuck your tail down slightly. Draw the ribs in and up. This is actually so good for the shoulders and the entire shoulder girdle. So hold here. 3 more breaths. Very good. And then very gently bring the hips and thighs down. Spread the fingers out back to Sphinx pose. Use that as a rest. And then let's lower ourselves and push back through child's pose. Pause in child's. And then let's take our blocks and take a Vajrasana, Virasana. You can either take your blocks behind you and sit your hips up on them, right in between your feet. 1 or 2, or none at all. Depends on how healthy your knees are right now. And you know, you can choose a different seated position if this isn't working for you at all. You could just take a seat on your mat. But I do want your spine to be nice and long. I'm gonna face you actually. We're gonna work through some really nice neck work here. So find a nice comfortable position where your spine is nice and lifted. Take a moment. Connect to your breath. And then I want you to imagine that your nose, you're just gonna draw a little circle. There's a little crayon on your nose. So you're just gonna draw a little circle right out in front of you. Keep it small to start. Just little circle. And then I want you to make the circle a little bigger. And if that's a good place for you, continue that circle. Or you can make the circle even bigger, where you're looking over the left shoulder, down towards the chest, over the right shoulder, and all the way up towards the ceiling above your head. If that's too big and just too much on your neck, then just keep the circle small. And keep that going, and I'd like you to bring a nice steady breath into this. Inhaling halfway around the circle, and exhale the other half. That's really important. And then let's go the other direction.
Closing down your eyes and just breathing steady and smooth. So it's really humid and heavy here today in the valley. And so those qualities actually translate to our bodies. The fluids are higher. We feel more sluggish maybe. And actually a little more inflammation. We might feel achier in our body. Maybe arthritis is kind of flared right now. And that's normal. You're not alone. It's normal when the weather is like this. Let's take one more circle, nice and slow. And then just bring your head back to neutral. Drop your chin down towards your throat. So now you're just stretching the rhomboids, the back of your neck. And we'll move through a few flexion and extension on the neck. So as you inhale, you're going to look up and as far back that's comfortable for your neck this morning. And then exhale, bring your chin down towards your throat. Or afternoon, wherever you are. Stay with that. Inhale as you look up. And exhale as you squeeze down. Let's go one more. This work is so good to do for the neck. We're keeping and maintaining our natural range of motion. So important. And then let's find our neutral. So head back center. And now look over the right shoulder just as far that you can without letting your left shoulder follow. So just the neck, isolating the neck. And then all the way over to the left. And just notice the difference. And now inhale all the way over to the right. And exhale to the left. And let's do one more round like that. Maybe finding a little bit more range. And then back to center. Take a nice centering breath. Let go of any tension through the mouth. And then let's come up away from the blocks. Stretch your legs out in front of you. You could use that block to still sit on or a blanket and stretch your legs out into Dandasana. So just finding a nice seated position where you're more L-shaped here. Taking the hands to either side, maybe on blocks or maybe just right alongside your hips and lift your chest. And use those legs, strong legs. And then with your long spine, start to crawl the hands a little bit further out alongside your legs. The moment you round your spine, you've gone too far. So just try to keep your spine nice and long as you lower down over those legs to your own degree. And you can use strap here if you'd like, over your feet. But I really want to make sure we emphasize the long spine. Keeping the spine long actually will help to support all of the functions in the body, the spine. And also the legs govern the spine, so keep your legs active and strong. And your breath is deep and smooth. Take 2 more breaths in this position and just see if you can find a little bit more softness. Relax into this.
scoot your hips forward, and then let's lower down onto your back. We're gonna take another bridge pose here, or maybe a full wheel for those of you that want to go a little stronger in your back bend today. You could place the hands by your shoulders and just pop up into a nice big back bend. Or you can just stay right here with me and bridge, and just breathe for 5 breaths. Very nice. And then once you're complete, we'll follow this with a happy baby pose. Happy baby is a nice stress relieving pose. It's a great way to end the practice. Very good. So I'd like to just open this up now, about a minute, just to do what you would like to do at the end of your practice. Some of you may want to take another twist, or maybe go into plow and into shoulder stand. Or maybe you feel complete and you're ready just to relax, start to drop into your shavasana, maybe a brief meditation. So remember to give yourself what you need. You might be needing something that we didn't do today, so please feel free. Okay, good, and we're finishing up this minute here, so go ahead and finish up whatever you were doing, and then we will all settle into a resting pose on your back. Please don't skip this pose, it's very important. This is actually where your body recharges, rebalances, and processes all the information that you just gave it. Once you get into the resting pose, just ask yourself this question: what did I learn about myself today in my practice? Possibly this intention today helped you to dig a little deeper. Maybe some areas of your life that need a little bit of extra attention. Relax completely. Observe your breath and observe the sensations that you feel in your body.
please just stay relaxing for a few more moments on your back with your eyes closed. Continue to rest. If you're comfortable, place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. I'm just sharing with you the amazing benefits I've gotten from this type of work, this type of practice. And the one main thing is that it's helped me in my life to know when I need to rest. I'm still working on that. That's still something I practice, but I'm much more aware of it now. But I'm not perfect, and I'm still working on it. But this has been really enlightening for me. It's helped me a lot to heal and to not be such the perfectionist that I've been, that everything has to be perfect. So I hope that this was of great benefit to you all today, and I hope you continue to practice in this way. It's much more healing, is actually what yoga is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a healing practice. And when you approach it this way, this is exactly what keeps yoga in your life as we age, as we deal with injury and illness, because we will, and we do. Yoga can travel with you through every stage of your life, if it's practiced this way. Gentle compassion and love. Stay as long as you like in your rest, and I wish you all a beautiful weekend, a lovely day. And I would love to know how you felt about the practice. Feel free to email me, text me. I like to know that it's working for you or not. And I thank you all for being here so much. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. Namaste.